That's how to make the diesel last longer than a Merlot. Put a John Deere tank on the front. When we took the tractor around yesterday to wash it, we put these under the boom of the Merlot to carry them. Anyway, the boom's gone down on the Merlot. Squashed that one into that one and totally munched that axle stand, which is really annoying because we needed it today to take the back wheels off this. Have you spilt any?
A little bit.
Yeah, just tip that out now, let's see what was in it. You see why it was blocking the filters, can't you? It's well grotty, isn't it? Zoom in. There's all the steam in it, isn't there? Getting all the bits out now. Got the Fen Panel now in my car to take it to the paint place. We'll see how it's like cracking. I'm going to see what they say for fixing that before we paint it and rubbing it down. Just dropping Johnny's black 936 panel back off. I've just took it to get colour matched and took mine to show him where the cracks are in the paint to see what filler I needed. So I'll stick it back on and we'll get a picture of his tractor to so you'll know what mine will look like when it's done. Yeah, I just had this colour match now, so I'm just going to put it back on the tractor for him. If you look at this, this is black, but if you look, it's green underneath. And then where it's got a couple of stone chips, they chip green. So the original black beauties are actually painted. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Just have to take the data tag stickers off to paint it. Well, this is cracked and blistered on this panel, so I'm just going to rub it down now with the grinder. Took all the badges off now. Just going to unscrew these grills. There's about 30 screws holding them in now. Took the badges off now, but you can see some sort of cracks in the bonnet here, so we'll have to smooth that out and fill them as well. This is the sunflowers now, nice and thin on the drying floor. It's still not quite dry because we don't want to give them too much heat because we don't want to over dry the beans that are still on behind it. We want to get them dry, then get the beans through the dryer after they've been through as well. So we're kind of like juggling stuff at the moment. Got a new phone. I just wonder if the camera's any better, so I'm going to zoom in. It's supposed to be a better camera. Pretty good, to be fair. Unfortunately though, the front facing camera is identical to the one on my last phone, so most of what I film is with the front facing camera, but at least on long range shots it's supposed to be better for zooming in. But unfortunately the microphone still zooms in with the image, which is really annoying, so I have to talk before I zoom in, because if I zoom in and I'm following a tractor, I go dead quiet and the tractor goes dead loud, and then you can't hear what I'm saying. Andrew's fuel tank off his 4955 is now on top of the pile of wood chip that's drying, so that it gets warm and evaporates any water in it, because it's obviously been steam cleaned out. We'll just climb up and see if we can see inside. I might need to turn the torch on then. I can't get the camera phone to work with the torch properly, but trust me, it's a lot cleaner inside. I spoke to the MB Track man. He can basically get me a new set of steps for both sides because they're obviously rotted. It is possible to repair them, but there'll be a lot of man hours in it. And then he's got a panel for the side, which we'll have to put a power bulge in. It's a second-hand panel, and it's a little bit like this in the corner, it needs repairing. He's got another set of steps for this side. We'll take these off and get them re-galvanised, hopefully. Then he's got some light brackets, and then we'll swap these. Apparently that's a rear light column off an older, bigger one, and that's a fake Hella one. So we'll put the normal lights that this model would have on, and then I could probably sell that on eBay to someone with a 1600 MB track, because I think it's rare. These just need painting. Wheels need sort of shop blasting and painting if we go that far. Definitely need painting. I need to sort something out with the air cleaner because the airbox is falling off, and we need to put a cone on it. And yeah, that's taking shape. This is nothing really wrong with it, just needs polishing, so someone's coming to have a look at that later. Pallet seed socks. So there's supposed to be, oh hold on, before I go to the seed socks, look how small that tractor is with no diesel tank. It's like, it's tiny. Anyway, pallet seed socks. Would you believe it, the carriage company has managed to lose a pallet that size. So last Thursday or Wednesday, 2 pallets left here on the way to Spalding's distribution, and only one's arrived, which is highly frustrating because there's 30 on each pallet, so there's a lot of value in that pallet, and it's now floating around on a wagon or a distribution centre lost, despite having the address on in about 5 different places, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if anyone knows into parcel or pallet ways and can find that, let me know, because it should look like that. Blue bags on a pallet wrapped up. Got this flexible body filler for that bonnet that's cracked over there. Just going to put some on here, get the hardener, mix it together, and then try and get it on it. I put that in now. Anyway, I was using this scraper. Didn't realise at the end I was using wasn't even a scraper. It was just like the handle with the barcode on or something. So anyway, it's good enough. I'll let it go off and I'll sand it. I'm going to take the bonnet off now. So we've got 2 bolts there and that plug, which is the wiring loom for the lights. And we can lift the bonnet off. If we take the bonnet off with hinges, it can sit on the hinges though, can't it, on the floor? And the gas struts. Paint's actually coming off the bonnet anyway. Look. Just loading up a pallet of seed socks now. The guy that's picking these up claims that he never picked the last 2 pallets up, of which one has gone missing, which is annoying. Get a video of loading it on the wagon, so when it goes missing and they don't know who's got it, I can say, well, we loaded it on this wagon. A few people were asking about the fluid clutch on the 1455. Well, this is how it works. So you've got an input shaft from the engine, then you've got a propeller, and you've got another propeller and the gearbox. So that's what the propellers look like. So this is like a sideways slice of them. So you imagine they're sat next to each other. The engine one spins and the gearbox one spins. Well, if you sit that in a bath of oil to sort of that level, that oil gets thrown around by this propeller. And because there's such a fine tolerance between that propeller and that propeller, at a certain speed, the viscosity of the oil pulls on this propeller at the same time. And so when that's spinning that way, so like this would be sort of turning like that, because that, if you imagine, is turned 90 degrees. Once that starts spinning in the oil, it carries the oil around and starts to drag the other one with it. Then that basically gives you drive, and at a certain speed it becomes like a solid drive because it physically can't slip fast enough. Whereas at a standstill, it turns slowly and the oil just splashes around and doesn't pull the gearbox round with it. So that's how a fluid clutch works. But obviously this box will be totally enclosed and you'll put oil in the top. So that's how a fluid clutch works. A normal clutch, you basically have what you call a pressure plate, and you have a flywheel turning, and then you have pads that push against it to drive and pull against it to go away. But eventually they wear out and slip. I think Fent and Case called it a turbo clutch, and Valtteri used to do it and they called it a high-troll clutch. Random fact. Got one of my black marker pens, so I'm just going to start colouring the bonnet in now, see how long it takes me. Looks good, doesn't it? It's also birthday bonnet today. My writing's terrible, so happy birthday, Oliver Clark and Andy Hooley. Yeah, so wish me luck, should have it done in the morning. Sam's just drying the wheel off after he's wet and dried it so he can masking tape it up. I've got the bonnet off. Probably going to start taking these grills out, but I think I might need someone to lift it up for me, so I'll carry on with that other bonnet panel that I've been taking the badges off, which is here, but Sam's nicked my chair I was working on. Oh yeah, I must say as well, it's happy birthday from all your family as well, Andy, according to the Instagram message. Just getting these little clips off, so you have to get a little pick in there, undo them, and then get another one underneath and pry them up and go all the way around in a circle. It's difficult with one hand, so I can't really film it because I need two hands. All the little clips are out now, so hopefully I should be able to pull the badges off, get them out of the holes, not snapping them. There we go. And just get the Vario badge off, which is faded a little bit. Not very red, so I don't know whether it'll clean up with some stuff or not, or we need new ones or paint them, don't know. So just got to get that sticker off this one now. This one's nearly ready now. Sam's got it masked off. We haven't took the tyre off the rim because we'll just damage it putting it back on again, and also you can mask it off pretty well into the bead where the tyre flexes anyway. So he's just finishing the other one now. I've just took the bits and bobs off this. Just going to take that sticker off, pull that rubber trim off, which is easy because they fall off anyway. And then when I've got someone to help me, we'll flip this upside down and I'll take these inner grills out so that that's even ready, and then get this sticker off as well. And then we're nearly there then with them body panels and the wheels at the front. And then we've got to, I think we'll paint the front wheels and put them back on so the tractor's stable. Then we'll take the back wheels off and paint the back wheels, and then get at these mud guards, take these off and mask all the cab off ready for painting as well. Quickly, there's a very cool 4890 case on Facebook. I've been tagging it about 20 times on Facebook and sent loads of messages. I've spoken to the guy lives in Rotherham and the tractor's in Ireland. I don't quite know how Iron Planet works, but it's also, I think, only a V8, not a V6, not a V8 Scania, but it is a cool tractor. I'd like the newer version of that, preferably in red, which is a 4494, like that. This car has just been in the field, driving on it. Don't know if you can see on the camera, but my friend just rang me up because he'd collared someone turning round on the field. So he's driven around in a loop all over this wheat and then was driving out. So I don't know whether he was trying to mooch about, trying to get in the back of the yard that looks like it's on fire with that sunset, or he was lamping for hares or something. But he'd been on here and then he'd also been into the sunflower maze the other side of the road. He's been driving all on this field of sunflowers. I know they've been cut, but they've obviously been up to no good, so they must have been hunting or weighing up if there's any hares to come back for later. Just blocking these gateways up now with some of my tyre blockers to stop moochers, because there's obviously moochers about. I don't know whether they're hunting or they're trying to find back entrances into the yard and the houses. Either way, we don't want them this time of year at all, well, any time of year, so blocking these gateways up now to stop them getting in. That's pretty much it for today. I've had a steady day, I would say. I tried to stay in the workshop as much as possible because it's warm. I had my third COVID jab yesterday, so I had like my booster because I was one of the early ones, and I'm just knackered basically. So I've had no motivation, tired and achy, so I've got a dead arm. It's slowly getting better, so I've been taking paracetamol, but yeah, I'm only 70% today. So don't forget, like we started back on, was it World Mental Health Day, whatever it was called? How are you? Answer as a percent. So if someone says how are you, don't say I'm fine or whatever, just answer as a percent how you are. Anyway, or leave a comment below how you're feeling today, and then if anyone's feeling particularly low, maybe some other people can see what's wrong with them, and so it's not just me having to reply to everyone all of a sudden. So I'll see you tomorrow. If you want another video, it's there. If you want to subscribe, it's over there. Don't forget, new subscribers, say where you're watching from. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.